Everyone, this is Ernie. This is going to be a short video series on the ZRX. This is an O2 ZRX with like 23,000 miles. This is my second ZRX. I love these bikes. Now, they are getting up in age, so there's a lot of maintenance you're doing up to them. I have a video about tank sealing it. This video is going to be about compression testing. I have another one coming up about a leak down test. I was getting some lower temps when I was reading the temperatures on the header, and I wanted to inquire about that. Also, we split the carburetors because one of the connection tubes between the carburetor banks were leaking as well. So I'll get into that as well. But these are great bikes. They're kind of not that hard to work on. This starts in 2002, so I feel like this is the last couple of years before motorcycles got a little bit more difficult as they got more advanced. I also have a old Harley, a DRZ. I'll be posting some videos up about what's going on in my garage, how I like to keep these bikes running. Some, repairs that you could save money on by doing yourself. So go ahead and tune in, subscribe if you can, hit the like button, all that kind of jazz. But let's talk about these carburetors here. So again, I want to diagnose why there was a low temperature reading on cylinder number 2, and let's get into that. So when diagnosing this, you really want to see how you can look at your cylinder health. And part of that is compression and a leak down test. But we're going to do compression first, as that's going to tell us the general health of the cylinder. So what I've done so far, if you look over here, I've taken all of the spark plugs from all the cylinders. I've taken the spark plug itself out. And when you're looking at a compression testing kit, you're going to try to match the attachment to the cylinder and the spark plug as well. So this is a good match. Some kits are going to have different sizes. You want to make sure you match as well. It's really intuitive. Let's see here. We're going to take this section here and thread it into the spark plug hole. Now, you don't want to torque this down. You just want to put it in the hand tight. You don't want that adapter to get stuck down into that valley because it is going to be a pain to take out. So just hand tight. Each kit's going to be a little bit different. You're going to go ahead and plug this kit in. Thankfully, I have a good friend of mine who's lent me this kit as well. There's others, less expensive ones as well. One of the things we're going to want to do is you don't just want to go ahead and crank the bike. You want to make sure the throttle is open. So this is going to take both hands or some help. You want to lay this down where you can see this. Depending on your motorcycle, you may have to press in the clutch, of course, to get the actual engine turn over. But make sure the throttle is open. That's going to be a huge thing. On some newer bikes with ride-by-wire, you may have some difficulty. But on these cable-driven bikes, it's going to be super easy. Hold that open. If you don't have the throttle open, the compression is going to be skewed because it's not going to get the full airflow. So here we go. Let's see what we're looking for. All right. So I stopped cranking the engine as soon as I saw that gauge stop advancing. That means that this one-way valve has pushed the compression meter all the way as far as it's going to go. At that point, you let off the starter and you take a reading. So at this point, we're about 170 pounds in compression. That's really, really healthy. So depending on your bike model, your manual will clarify, but I'm going to see for anywhere from 150 to 180. I'm really happy with that. Now, the issue was on cylinder 2. So right now we're on cylinder 4, and that's going to be a good baseline. So we know what a good baseline was. This cylinder read a really good temperature at about 500 degrees on the header. So I know this one's fine. Now I'm going to have to go ahead and read cylinder 2, but I have a good baseline of where it should be. All right, we could pause that. So now I have this hooked up on cylinder 2. This is a cylinder that the temperature's read just about half of where all the other cylinders were. So I'm suspecting there may be an issue with this. It could be something in the carburetor, it could be something in the cylinder, but that's what we're trying to test for. So we already know what the baseline is, about 170. There may be some discrepancies between where these compressions lie, but again, I'm looking for 150 to about 180. So let's see how healthy this one is. All right, so I had the throttle open and I was cranking till about that needle, to where about the needle started moving. We're about 160, 170. So at this point, I know the cylinder is pushing as much compression as the other cylinders. So thankfully, that points to maybe a spark or a carb issue. We're going to do a leak down test to be sure, but so far so good. I know that cylinder is healthier than it should be. That means, there's not a head issue. Now, if the compression was much lower, let's say 80 pounds, 50 pounds, even maybe 100 pounds, that would point to possible valve issues. That will point to possible piston ring issues. But again, a leak down test is going to further tell you what that's going to be. And I'll show you how to isolate an exhaust valve, an intake valve, maybe even a ring valve with the piston rings as well. But I'm really happy with this. This points to maybe a simpler issue. All right. Checking the other cylinders.